Hello, welcome to another weekly reading vlog. It is Monday. I hope you guys are all doing really well. I'm just manifesting a really good week this week. Last week was strange. I had lots of things happening that threw me last week. It distracted me from reading. It was weird and I didn't like it. So this week, we're having a better week and I'm gonna read a lot more because I started off strong. I was reading House of Sky and Breath and I started off reading loads of pages each day. I was addicted to it, it's so good, and I still feel that way. But I just petered off towards the end of the week and ended up picking up my Switch quite a lot or binge watching The Big Bang Theory. I just needed stuff that was more mindless to be able to do and fall into because of the way that my week ended up going. So that was a little bit annoying, and this week I have determined to change that. Is it getting really overexposed? The weather, I swear, it's been so stormy. And now it's really sunny. Oh my god, it's so overexposed. Let me move you. This is no better. What is this weather? I don't think this is any better, but we're gonna go with it. This weather is just so much. Last night I could barely sleep because of how loud the storm was. I was convinced that my roof was gonna fly off or something. I'm on the top floor of my flat and I could just hear everything. The roof was making so many noises, but thankfully it's all good. But yes, today it seems to be on and off. Extreme wind and now sun at the same time as rain. Please just bring me spring and summer. Like, I want the summer now. I want the warm kind of sun. I'm ready for it. But anyway, reading updates. So yes, I have been reading House of Sky and Breath. I will be reading this week as well. I am halfway through, which I thought I would have finished it last week. That was my plan, but I just, as I said, the week got away from me, things happened, and it just became too difficult to try and continue pushing through the book for the sake of finishing it for a certain date rather than actually just enjoying it. So I've kind of reminded myself that that's what I want to do, so I don't want to force myself to read it at a certain speed. So that is the plan for this week. Hopefully finish this week, I would imagine, given that I read half of it last week, so I'd imagine that I will read half of it this week. I'm going home to my family home at the weekends, and preferably I don't want to bring it with me because it's so big and chunky, and by that point I'm surely going to be pretty near the end anyway, so hopefully I'll have finished it by this week. I know I've just said I don't want to put the pressure for when I have to read it, but I think that's a more realistic expectation rather than trying to get myself to read 800 pages in what was probably under a week, really. I think I wanted to read it Monday to Saturday, so that did not happen. I'm really enjoying where this is going at the moment. I love the characters. I think their chemistry is fantastic. I think Sarah J Maas writes character chemistry and kind of found family very, very well. Wow, the lighting, going back to overexposed again. Anyway, yeah, so I am loving everything about that in this book. There's a couple of things that I think the first book excelled in that haven't quite been brought through to this book, which is a shame. I'm not going to go into it in any more detail because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I wish it gave me a little bit more of things it gave in the first book, which just sounds super cryptic, but I'm loving it. I'm still loving it. It's definitely either a 4.5 or a 5 stars at the moment. I'm not sure. I don't know if I preferred the first one or not yet, because for me the first one really hammered in the 5-star rating for the last 200 pages or so, which I think Sarah J Maas usually does with her books. It usually comes in strong at the end. I mean, it's consistently good throughout as well, but her endings are exceptional usually. So I am intrigued to see how I continue finding this. I'm going to be doing Twitch streams, I think, after work tonight. Tomorrow I've got Patreon reading sprints with Ro and Spoops, and on Thursday I'm going to a pub quiz. And then, as I said, at the weekend I'm back at my family home. I'm looking after my sister because my mum and stepdad are off to London for her birthday. So it should be a good week. I'm excited to take you along with me. There's the wind, did you hear it? It's just so loud. What is with this varying weather? How many times have I said that in this one vlog clip? Anyway, welcome to the week. Hello, it's Tuesday, and this is the face of somebody who read a good chunk of her book last night. I am now nearing the 500 page mark, so I read about 80 pages last night, and I did a Twitch stream, so I'm kind of impressed with myself being able to fit it all in. I am still loving this book. We are now at the point where everything's kind of starting to come together a little bit, and you're kind of seeing which direction the plot might be going in. As I said, I think I said yesterday that Sarah J Maas always does such good endings, so I'm really hyped to see the direction this does go in and how we reach towards some kind of a conclusion. I know I'm quite way off of it at the moment, but we're getting there. I do have a couple of things I'm noticing that I wish would go in a slightly different direction or would be written in a slightly different way, but that's literally just down to my own taste. There is definitely a couple I would like to ship together, and I think I said this in the last vlog, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to be shipped together, but I would just love to see Sarah J Maas head in this direction with some of her characters and in a prominent way, and it's just, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's all I'll say on that. I'm now going to be going to town and go to a cafe to do some work. I'm working on a presentation at the moment. I have to present to my company about what we do for organic social media within my company, so like just present to anyone that isn't aware. And I'm struggling to put it together because we all work in a company that works on social media. It's just I do the organic and other people do paid and other people do different types of marketing. So I don't want to make it too obvious of like, this is what Facebook is, this is what LinkedIn is. So that's what I'm working on today, and I'm basically trying to reach the happy medium where I'm not creating a really easy patronizing presentation. I'm actually creating something interesting. So that's my work day. That's a day in the life of a social media manager, kind of. That's what I'm working on. So I'm gonna go into town, do that. I'm also I'm gonna be doing something that I'm really excited about, although I'm also a bit scared. So I have a VHS tape that I've had my whole life. It's footage of me as a child. So, well, I've not had it my whole life in that case, but like, it's been filmed and created from me being very, very small up until probably being about 6 or 7. And I have had this on VHS for ages, and my mum got it converted to DVD years ago, and the DVD just doesn't work anymore. So I've not watched this tape for years and years and years. And I'm really scared to take it to a shop that's going to convert it for me because I'm terrified that something's going to happen to the tape. But I am going to go and do that today on my lunch break, and I'm scared, but I am so excited to see the footage again. It's probably going to be kind of emotional for me to watch the footage as well, I would have thought, but I'm really excited. I just hope that the tape's okay. It takes them a couple of days to do, but yeah, I'm going to go do that now as well. I don't know why I'm choosing this week to do it, but here we are. So let's go to a cafe. Hello, it is Tuesday night and I have read some more of this book. I've been reading on Patreon Reading Sprints, and it's a nice cozy evening, reading away, really enjoying what I'm reading, and then I get hit with smut. There was smut. There is expected to be smut in Sarah J Maas books, and this one's had quite a lot already. I would say this is a pretty smutty book, and I just couldn't stop laughing at the sex scenes. And I don't think it's necessarily a good thing when I'm finding what is meant to be a very intimate, passionate sex scene funny. There's a couple of reasons I'm finding it funny. Namely, the language used. We have, instead of the word vulva or any other word, we have the word sex that is being used to call a vulva a sex, which it's a very strange use of that kind of a word. Like, why? And then we also have things like velvet cock. Now, when I hear velvet, I think of the material, which I personally would not like the idea of being on a penis. It's just, I don't, you know, you rub it down one way, it's smooth. You rub it the other way, it's cringy. Is that really the imagery? Okay, all right, okay. The sex has been beckoning, as in the vulva. The vulva, the sentence has been the beckoning sex. And I'm like, what is this? Has it got a little hand? And it's like, come here, come hither. And also, finally, the word pumping. Like, it doesn't sound sexual, the word pumping. It sounds aggressive and more like you're pumping a cow or something than a penis. A velvety one at that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the sex scenes in this book. I'm finding them comical, and in that sense they are providing me with entertainment. But I don't know, they're not it for me. They're not it. I like the build up to them a lot and the anticipation, and I love the way that all entwines together, and the moment that we know that's going to happen, but then I just laugh and I just find it funny. And I don't know why. So sorry about that. Apparently that's something I find humorous. So what's meant to be steamy, saucy, intimate moments that I am gripped to read is just making me laugh, but hey ho. The book is excellent. There is lots of action. We are delving further into it and meeting new characters still now, which I love. It keeps me on my toes. I am now at page 533. I'm at part 3. We're here. So I am very excited to continue, and I'm pretty sure I've just said I'm excited every time I update you on this book, but that is the overwhelming emotion. So that's my reading update. That was very fun to read on Patreon Sprints because people watching, they knew which bit I was reading. They knew. I also bought some books today. I went into Waterstones to buy wrapping paper, and I came out with books and wrapping paper. And I'm okay with that. So I bought 2 books. I bought Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson. This is very short and very shiny, and I will tell you what it's actually about rather than just the fact that it's shiny. So this follows 2 people who meet at a pub in southeast London. Both black British, both won scholarships to private schools where they struggle to belong. Both are now artists. There's a photographer and a dancer, and they're trying to make their mark in a city that by turns celebrates and rejects them. Tentatively and tenderly, they fall in love. But 2 people who seem destined to be together can still be torn apart by fear and violence. The reviews on the back of this just made it sound absolutely amazing. A very touching and heartfelt book, an unforgettable debut, a short poetic and intellectual mediation on art and a relationship between a young couple. It sounds absolutely brilliant. It has quite a lot of award credits. It's been shortlisted for the Waterstones Book of the Year and longlisted for the Desmond Elliott Prize and the Gordon Byrne Prize, and it's won the Costa First Novel Award. It sounds really, really good, and also the bookseller highly recommended it, which is always good. And as that was on buy one get one half price, I also picked up this. This is Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan, and this cover I think is Waterstone's exclusive cover, possibly. It's quite an unusual cover, and also we have the splattered edges. This is about a woman in her early 20s who loves being in love, and I think it starts with an affair. Now, I don't normally pick up books that have cheating as a main storyline because I hate seeing cheating glorified. However, I think this is more going to be a questioning book. It says we're all looking to get what we want, but how do we know what we need? From the look of the reviews, this is very much about female desire and is quite dark and intense and looks at what this character wants and needs out of her life. So it sounds like it's going to be quite interesting. So these are the 2 books I bought, and this is the book that is currently making me laugh, where it probably shouldn't be. But it's a good day. It's been a good day. So I'm going to go shower now, get ready for bed, read a little bit more. And then tomorrow I have my stepdad and sister coming over. They're going to the cinema in my town and then coming to see me afterwards, which will be nice. So they're coming around after I've finished work, and then I will be doing a Twitch stream, which is exciting. I'm now affiliate on Twitch, which is really cool. I'm trying to work out like what exactly it all means, but basically people can now subscribe, and there's something called bits that I'm trying to understand, and it's all very exciting. It's all a complete other world, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, but that's really cool. If you ever want to follow me on Twitch, I am Booksnest there. It's also all linked down below. Yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's Tuesday. I had a busy and productive day. It's been good. Yay. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday evening and I am about to do some Animal Crossing streaming. So nearly finished with my island redesign. I've been slowly doing this over streams for the last 2.5 weeks and I am so pleased with the progress. So gonna be finishing like the main bulk of that tonight and then adding detail at a later point, but I'm excited. Really loving streaming at the moment, so very much looking forward to it. I haven't read any more today, but I have read more since I spoke to you last. And I am now at a very pivotal point. I have 250 pages left and I'm very, very intrigued to see where the story goes because I've seen a lot of people say a lot of things about the ending and yeah, I'm ready to find out. I just heard such a weird noise in the background. What the hell was that? Sorry, just had to go investigate. I heard a weird noise, but I think it might have been out the hallway. Anyway, I'm gonna stream on Twitch now and I'll catch up with you later. Hello, it is Thursday and I have picked up my DVD. I think I spoke about it earlier in the week that I was getting a very old VHS tape converted to DVD. I had it on DVD before, but the DVD corrupted. I've got it converted through. and I've just put it on and oh my god, I knew it would make me feel emotional because it's literally like tapes from my childhood, but I'd say it's probably me up until about age 3 or 4. And there's just, I mean, first off, 90s fashion, amazing. Second off, my mum's hair is amazing. It's like permed tight curls and it just looks amazing and I'm in awe. And just, oh god, it's really like there's so many lovely things in it to see again and remember, like me cooking with my mum, seeing like all of those kind of things together and seeing my dad and my mum and that little unit, and it's just so nice. One of the things that really got me that I didn't realize would get me is there was just literally a split second where we're on our way to Disneyland and my granddad comes to drive us to the Eurostar or whatever, however we got there, and my granddad passed away about 4 or 5 years ago now, and I hadn't heard his voice that whole time, and he just said, "Hi, you all right? You ready to go?" And then he laughed in the video clip and I was just like, oh, didn't expect that to be in there. So yeah, it's really lovely. It's so nice. But the reason I'm giving this kind of little intro is because I just wanted to show you this clip that's always stayed in my mind. Basically, we were at Disneyland and there was this queue to see Minnie Mouse or someone like that. And I queued for so long. And I think this bit of film, they finally see that I've been queuing for ages and all these other kids have been pushing in front of me, and they come over to me, and it's just something that's always stuck in my memory, but I wanted to show you just because I thought it was cute. Look, there's me queuing, and I'm pretty sure this is my birthday. And all the other kids just kind of randomly walking in front of me. And I'm just stood there, politely waiting. Look, where are these other kids coming from? They're pushing in front. I also woke up on the morning of my birthday with a Minnie Mouse doll next to me on the bed. So, you know, she was my fave. Look. And she gives me a special cuddle. God, it's too cute. Look how happy I am. So yeah, generally, I've just been watching this evening and just living in the memories from it, which is really, really lovely to see after so many years of not being able to watch it anymore because it was on VHS. Minnie Mouse had a bag to cover. And once again, repping the yellow. It's a good look. The 90s just had the best fashion. Do we think I look like my mum? That's me. Happy with food. Minnie Mouse in a carrier bag. Living the life. Yeah, so that was my little tape. I just finished watching it. I wish there was more. There's 50 minutes of footage. It's so weird that for me having that footage is VHS tapes and it's just, you know, what my parents recorded when they picked up the camera, whereas now for Ava, for example, who's my 9-year-old sister, she will have everything we've all documented on our smartphones from day one. Like, we've had phones that could film camera footage the whole time she's been alive, and we've got so much footage from her, and I wonder like the kind of different effects that has, because for me this video is all I have in terms of video footage, and therefore it's always going to be immensely special to me, and it's always going to be something I want to rewatch and feel nostalgic, whereas I suppose for a younger generation that have so many different short video clips on a phone, does it feel the same way? Like, for me, it scared me that I just had that on VHS, because if that corrupted or like if something happened to the tape, that's gone. And I'm going to try and get a digital copy of this as well as just having it on DVD, but yeah, I'm so glad that I've got that, and I just wanted to put that in. I thought that would be a nice bit of wholesome family content. It's not lost on me that I've put that in, and the thumbnail for this vlog is talking about smut, and that's what I was talking about in the last few clips for this vlog. So yeah, you've got a diverse range of content coming at you today, but anyway, it's after work in the evening at the moment on Thursday, and I am later going to a pub quiz with a bunch of strangers. There's this app called Meetup, and you can basically become part of groups and you can go and do things with those groups, and the kind of aim is to make more friends and stuff. I've got so many friends that are all over the country, and I have a couple of friends here, and I just want to widen that circle, and I thought I would sign up to this Meetup thing, and I've joined a group for ladies in their 20s to 30s in my town, and I'm going to a pub quiz with them tonight. I've never met any of them before, but I love a pub quiz. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be good fun. I've also got under 200 pages left of this book. There was a gasp out loud moment for me for a bit I read earlier, and I am very excited to finish this. I don't know how feasible it is to finish it by tomorrow because I don't want to rush it, but at the same time, like, I really don't want to bring this chunky book back with me for the weekend. Sorry if you can hear the siren in the background, there seems to be quite a few of those today, and every day that the weather has been a bit temperamental. Anyway, so that's my plans for later, and I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully I can answer some questions for the pub quiz. Hello, I am back from the quiz. We won! We won the quiz! We had quite a mix of different people with different knowledge there. I feel like I excelled in the music round, that was my round. But we won, which was really, really cool. This is bad lighting. Anyway, yeah, that was fun. I had good fun. I'm glad I went, met some new people, and now I'm going to get ready for bed and read. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get read, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So, fingers crossed. I don't think I'm going to finish this tomorrow. By tomorrow, I just don't think it's going to happen. So Nick's going to have to come home with me. Yay! Hello, I am caught in a sunbeam. It is Friday. Happy Friday, we made it to the weekend. And I have kind of reading updates. I have a failed reading goal to give you, and this sunbeam isn't the best lighting, but I'm kind of in the middle of it, so we're gonna keep going with it. Anyway, I haven't finished this book. That was my intention. I haven't finished it, but I got really, really, really close. So I am gonna be bringing it back with me to my family home, which is fine. It's a chunky book. I was gonna bring Gallant back. I mean, I'm also gonna bring Gallant back, but it's a big book. So I'm gonna try and finish it tonight / tomorrow, probably more like tomorrow. And I will let you know my thoughts and feelings then. But we have had a really cool scene that I enjoyed quite a lot, where we nearly got a bit more information about something that I've been waiting to get more information about, and I really liked the way that scene played out, so I've been really enjoying reading those bits. Also, I love Tharion and Rune. I don't think I've spoken about that, or maybe vaguely mentioned it. They are such good characters. I just love the way that they are banterous with each other and the way they bounce off of each other, and I really enjoy many of the scenes that they're in, to the point where, and I've actually seen a couple of other people saying this, I'm not as bothered by the scenes anymore that Bryce and Hunt are in, like I was in the first book, but I've just kind of reached a point where I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool that they're still doing that, but I want to hear about Rune and Tharion, because those are the guys I want to hear more about. So yeah, and all of Rune's little crew, his friends, his guys, they're really cool to read about as well. Just enjoying the characters very, very much. This one isn't as exciting as the first one, I would say. I think the first one, by this point in the first one, I was getting a very different vibe, whereas I expect that's going to happen. It's just taking its time to get there. But I'm excited, so I'm gonna go back to my family home soon after work, and then I'm gonna spend the weekend there looking after Ava, and I don't know what we're gonna do. She wants to go get McDonald's. It's the height of excitement for her, apparently, to go get McDonald's. I asked her, we could do whatever you want. What is it you want to do? And she's like, McDonald's. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that'll be fun. And then don't know what else we're gonna do. Probably go to a garden centre, because that's my height of excitement. We're gonna share the excitement out, but I'll let you know my more thoughts on this book, and I will chat with you, hopefully, when I finished it. Hopefully, maybe, I'm hoping. It's gonna happen. I mean, it'll happen. Hello.
Hi.
It is Saturday, and I told you the next time I speak to you, I would have finished this book. And I haven't. I've barely read any since I last spoke to you, but tonight I will give it my best shot. I'm currently looking after Ava today and tomorrow because my mum and stepdad are away in London for the weekend. So it's just me and Ava today, and Ava wanted to tell you what she was reading.
So I'm reading Clean Break.
Jacqueline Wilson.
By Jacqueline Wilson.
You enjoying it?
Yep.
What's it about?
So there's this girl, Em, her name's actually Emily, and she's got a mum, her sister and brother, and her dad has left.
Okay.
And they're trying to get him back.
Ah, okay. Cool. I had a little lending library in my flat of books for Ava, and she's, this whole time that I've lived there, not been bothered by them. They've not tickled her fancy. And then she came round this week and suddenly was all about the lending library. So this is one of the books that she's picked up from the lending library, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon I'm going to be reading Thief.
Thief, which was at Mallory Blackman.
I think maybe.
Yeah, the one with the orange cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mallory Blackman, Thief, you've also got to read. So yeah, these are the books that we're going to be reading. We're going to head out now to go to the toy shop. And also there's a shop with a giant Pikachu in the window, which I've been promised I will enjoy the contents of.
It's called Toy Planet.
Ah, okay, Toy Planet.
But there's actually not toys for kids in it.
Okay.
Made a mistake going in there.
I'm excited to see what that's like. So we're going to head there now, and then we're going to Grandma's for dinner. For Grandma's spaghetti bolognese, which is the best spaghetti bolognese
And I'm
ever.
having snake in it. I mean...
You're having steak. Ava's having a steak because for some reason She doesn't want the spaghetti bolognese, and I don't understand this because spaghetti bolognese is
I
the
don't
best
really
thing.
like it, and Grandma knows.
But grandma's spaghetti bolognese is the best thing ever. Anyway, we've been playing a little bit of games this morning, haven't we? We played some Animal
All
Crossing,
day.
Cozy Grove just this morning. Animal Crossing, Cozy Grove, and this one called Cat, which is like Mario kind of platform jumping, which Ava was getting very good at and then very frustrated by because it was hard. And we made a fort. So that's been our day, and we went for a walk.
Yeah. Then Pippin jumped on the fort.
Yeah, the fort was really perfectly done. We were all in the fort, and then Pippin jumped on top of it and it all fell down, which was sad. Anyway, we'll catch up with you later. Hopefully, when I finish this book, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, okay? Make me finish this book.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it. It's so good.
Then finish it.
Okay. It's been a very long time since I've been on a swing, but we are swinging. Hello, this is the face of somebody vlogging on a Sunday because last night at midnight I finished this book. I finished it. I finished House of Sky and Breath. Yes, I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, thought it was great. I was absolutely hooked at the end, and I have many thoughts and feelings. I'm going to keep this spoiler free, of course, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of what I thought. First off, this book series has the best characters. I love the way Sarah J Maas writes her characters. I think they're always full of banter and full of dry wit and sarcasm, and I really enjoy that form of humour from them, and I just think that they have some really excellent one-liners in this book, and I love it. I love it. I love reading about them, and I want to read more about Rune, and I want to read more about Tharion. I want like dedicated books and books and books for them because I absolutely loved reading about them. I think I preferred them to Bryson Hunt by the end of this book. I think this kind of, the first book I was fully on Team Bryson Hunt, and not that I'm not on that team now, but I kind of was leaning towards other characters in this book, which was interesting. I think that there's a lot this book could have done to give us some more in terms of certain avenues it could have gone down with characters and character relationships, and I would have loved to have seen certain things explored a little bit more there. Obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail there because I don't want to inadvertently give any spoilers, but yeah, I would have loved certain things to have happened, but I'm very happy with what did happen as well. I feel like this book needed a bit more woman power, to be honest. Like, we have this amazing character in Bryce, and we have a very, very strong woman leading this plot. And in the first book, we had this kind of group of supportive women around each other. And in this book, we don't have that strength quite in the same way, I don't think. We certainly have a lot of strong female characters, but I feel like they're not interacting in the same way that we got that strong vibe in the first book. And I think that was something that made the first book really brilliant, is that we had that sense of unity. And I just didn't get it quite the same from this second book. I still like loved the way they all interacted. However, I just felt like that could have been a bit stronger for me personally. Also, something the first book did really well that I think this book didn't do quite so well, but also probably because it's the second book, we are now building to the third and I think final book. Is it 3-book series? But the first book had a lot of action, especially towards the end. The last 200 pages, there was a specific scene where it was very difficult to put that book down. And this book didn't quite have that same vibe, and I think that's possibly why at times it took me a little bit longer to read, because there were points that were a lot slower and we didn't have that heavy action. It was a lot more establishing and growing the world and explaining things and going into lore and developing those characters and those bonds and those relationships, which, as I've just said, is something I really enjoyed from it, and I think that's why I do enjoy this series quite so much. But I think I would have really liked to have seen a little bit more action than just the last like 50 pages, which was the proper intense part of the action, which, you know, generally with these kind of books you do expect a lot of the action to be at the end, but it would have been good to see a bit more throughout. There was action throughout. It wasn't like stale on that front or anything, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, I think. Also, as I've already mentioned, the sex scenes in this book just made me cringe and just were so cheesy and cliche, and they just made me laugh. I just don't think the sex scenes were done in the way that they could have been. I don't know, there was so much steamy burn and like desperate build up to some of these scenes, and I just felt like they felt a bit clumsy at times. It's completely my opinion. I know not everyone will agree and everyone has different tastes when it comes to those kind of things, but personally for me, in my opinion, I just found them a little cheesy, and they made me laugh. So they entertained me in one way, but not in the way that they were probably intended to. The final thing for me, I think because I took longer to read this book, I nearly took 2 weeks to read this, and I didn't anticipate to take that long, but I think that the result of that is, whilst I hadn't seen any spoilers, I had seen reactions to things, and I think that that did change my experience a little bit, because I could see how people reacted to certain points, and that for me meant that I kind of anticipated certain things at certain points, and I do think that that changed how surprised I was at certain plot points and what my reactions were. Saying that, I did still really enjoy where the story went, and it did still give me like the excitement of reading it. But yeah, I do think that changed the reading experience ever so slightly, which is a shame. But I absolutely loved it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it would have got the 5 stars if it had just a little bit more of the action that we saw from the first one. There was just some absolute standout scenes in that book that just, even on a reread, gave me chills to read, and I just don't think this one quite got there. Still fantastic, still absolutely loved it. It was really good. I'm so glad I finished it. It's such a big book. Over 800 pages, just about. This is, I think, probably my biggest book of the year. I'm gonna say so far. I don't know if I'm gonna top it, but so far. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here, but the next book I will be picking up and that you will see me reading in my next weekly reading vlog is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Very excited about this one. This is an advanced reader copy, and this is on my Fictionary TBR for March, but I wanted to start it now because I really want to be able to read this one before release date, which was the 1st of March, but has now been changed, I want to say, to the 8th or the 10th. It's been bumped by about a week, so really excited to get to this one. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you have been reading this week, and subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. And you can also find my Patreon link down below, where if you sign up now you get access to the full month pretty much of March's live show. Depends when you're watching this, I suppose, but if you're signing up at the start of March, you'll get full access to all the live shows in March, which again is pretty much 2 a week, apart from the first week of March, but then it's 2 a week pretty much, so lots of live shows. Thank you so much for watching, keep smiling and stay positive.